besties, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Stels. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning in. Today I want to give an accurate breakdown of how much you'll be needing to come into Canada through the express entry route. Now, I received a question in my comment section asking what routes did I use to come into Canada. I explained it before. I used the express entry route, the federal skilled workers route. And I just want to share the financial implications of this decision. I also came in through provincial nomination. That was not the intent. Even though we applied to 3 provinces that did not select us, Ontario later gave us a notice of interest that they're interested in us. And yeah, we had to pay the application fee, to come into Ontario. So first I would say, like I said in my previous video, you start with your evaluation of results, and West currently is like I think $102, 107, not Canadian dollar now, US dollars, and that is about 78,000 naira. So if you're a family of 2, maybe yourself and your husband wants to evaluate your results. If you're claiming points if you don't, like for example in my case, because our score was not great, I needed my husband to evaluate his results so I can claim points with his credentials. But if I'm not claiming points with his credentials, I did not have to evaluate his own results. So both of our results were evaluated, and I'm using the current price of this item so that you will know that this is the updated version of all the old YouTube videos you'll be watching. So it's like let's just say give or take 78,000 naira, and both of us cost like just do the math, 78 plus 78, that's like 156. So for our credential evaluation, my husband did not school in Nigeria. His was, when he converted to Naira, he spent like 15,000. While I needed to collect my certificate first from ASUTS, the business school. You guys did Michigan. To collect my certificate, they asked me to pay 100,000. While I paid 100,000 to evaluate my credentials with West, I was told to pay 40,000 naira. I did school in the university. I schooled in the business school. That's where I did my master's. I paid 40,000 naira to the school, and the business school asked me to pay another 40,000 naira to the business school. So that's my own wahala anyways. So you have to, I don't know, these prices range from the different schools. It's not a fixed price. So you need to find out how much your school will charge you for evaluating your credential. So like I said, West is like $102, $107. Let's just say 78,000 to 80,000 naira roughly. Then you get into the pool. At this point, you don't need to pay any other. To get into the pool is free. There's no application fee. For you to create a profile with CIC, it's free. If you need inquiries on how to check your score, like before you even do all of this, please go and check your score first to see what your score can be. If you're interested in provincial nomination, you have to research on the provinces that collect people, whether you're a high school teacher, you're an IT person, you need to research on those provinces. And now, when you get into the pool, start applying to those provinces, for you to get into Canada. So after we did that, we waited for close to a year. Nothing happened, and we got a notice of interest from and bear in mind, West evaluation, once you evaluate your results with West, it's only valid for 5 years. And once you write IELTS, it's only valid for 2 years. That's why when you hear people keep writing IELTS over and over again, maybe it's one of 2 things. It's either they didn't get the desired score they want, or 2, their IELTS has expired and they need to, and they've not gotten into, an invitation to apply from Canada, so they have to write another IELTS. Then, while I said West has just 5 years before it expires, IELTS has 2 years before it expires. So the next thing, when we got a notification of interest from Ontario, we are requested to pay a sum of 1,500 Canadian dollars, and that's roughly about. And this one is not bank rates, because you are buying the dollar to pay to them. So it's not bank rates, it's black market rates, and black market rates currently of Canadian dollars is about 580 naira per Canadian dollar. So that's about 870,000 naira that we paid to Ontario to start the application with them. After we did the application with them, we went ahead to submit bank statements, 3 months bank statements, work letters from the office, birth certificates of our child, passport photograph. Your international passport must be valid, and it must not be, the validity must be more than 6 months. when you're doing all these processes. Okay, if it's not valid, please go and renew it before you start this process, so you don't end up, trying to explain yourself over and over again. So for the Ontario process nomination, you don't even need to submit any medicals or any police report for that matter. So afterwards, once Ontario gives you, or whatever province you are applying to gives you a nomination, you get 600 points. Once you get an invitation to apply to Canada. I used IOM and I recommend them any day. I didn't even when I wanted to get my medical sheets sent to Canada. I just sent a mail and they sent me a copy of my own. I didn't have any hassles booking the appointment online. And you need to book an appointment online. You cannot just walk in person. Although they attend to some people that walk in person, but in order to avoid being embarrassed, book online, make payments online, then go and have your medical examination done. And yes, they pay for children, they pay for babies. Even if my toddler, when we got there, they only used stethoscope on his chest and measured the circumference of his head. They didn't even do any blood exam for him. Nothing. He was charged. I think he was charged 30 something thousand. Then for adults, I think it was 50 something thousand. They charged myself and my husband. I just know we paid about 130 something or about 140 something thousand for medicals. Then you also need to do your what is it called? Your police report to show that you have no criminal records in the country you've been more than 6 months. So, for example, if I had schooled in UK, if I had schooled in Canada, if I had schooled in different countries, I'll have to get police report for all those countries. So in Nigeria, police report used to be like 3K, 5K. But since immigration started becoming a lot, now the current price of police report is 30,000 naira. Yes, you heard me right. And if you don't know anybody, if you go there, they will start telling you it's 50,000 because they will collect the official rates and they will also add their own on top. So what you should do is go to their website and register, make your payment there, then go to Alagmo in Lagos with the slip of what you've registered. You can just decide to tip one or two officers with maybe 2,000, but the official price is 30,000. Don't get scammed. So, like I said, we paid 130 something thousand there. Okay, if I add that, I'm just trying to do a rough calculation. Okay, that's 4.6. Okay, so police report. Then you also need to take a particular dimension of passports for you and your family members. Okay, yes, we did that for Ontario. So you had to do another. You can decide to do another one for Canada. Ontario is the province. So, but if it's not a long time, you can still use the same passports. So, yeah, we you do that passport, and I think with Studio 24, and that should cost. I think it cost about 4,000. I can't remember. Or I think 6,000 for the three of us. So we got that one sorted. So afterwards, there was no other financial thing we needed to do that just to wait. When we got the ITA, we now had to pay the fee to Canada. ITA, invitation to apply. There's a fee, there's a right of person's fee you need to pay. And yeah, so you pay 825. Sorry, let me go back to my notes. Yes, 825 and Canadian dollars and 500 Canadian dollars for each adult. So if you have two adults, you're paying 1325 for the two adults. Then for the child, you're paying just 225. So for the three of us, we paid for the three of us, we paid 2,875 Canadian dollars to Canada. Now the first payment I said, that 870K, that one is to Ontario province, so don't get it wrong. So we paid this, and if you convert this to naira, you're not paying using it's not bank rates. So if you're using black market rates, like I said, it's like 580 now. So that's about 1.6 million. So 870,000 naira to the province of Ontario. There are some provinces that are free. Don't get scared. There's some provinces that are free. I think about 2 or 3 provinces. Some will look at your occupation and look at if you have family ties in Canada. So there are different provinces. You just have to do your research. So the free ones we applied to did not select us. So that's why we had to pay Ontario after they nominated us. Then, like I said, following the progression, we now have to pay the government of Canada. This is their own application fee. So that's like 2008 75 for the three of us. That's about 1.66 million because you're using, it's either use your dollar card, you cannot use your naira card to pay. Even your IELTS, you cannot even use, sorry, your West, you cannot even use your dollar card, your naira card to pay. Everything international payment has been banned in Nigeria with naira card. So you have to either get a dollar card or you get these virtual dollar cards from like Flutterwave. That's what we used then. I don't know if they are still in existence, but we created a virtual dollar card with Flutterwave and we used it initially to pay our West. Or you get someone resident in Canada, pay the person naira, let the person help you use his or her card to make the payments. That's also what we did to make another payment, you know. So so yeah. Then the proof of funds. So all these are just the expenses that we made. If you calculate everything from the medicals, the police reports, the West, the IELTS, the collection of school certificates, payment to Ontario, payment to government of Canada, everything is about 4.6 million. Everything is about 4.6 million. That's the expenses. I'm not calculating what we used, the food we bought or the food stuff we bought coming here. Okay, including the flights. Sorry, I forgot to add that, including the flights. Now we used Ethiopia Airlines. This is one of the cheapest so far, and per person was close to 500k. It was like 480 something thereabout. So it depends on, you now check, you divide that fee into three to know, okay, how much are you going to be able to pay, or you check their website to see how much you can pay as a single person. For family of three, we paid about 1.4 million for that. So if you add that, add this 1.6 million for government of Canada, add the 870,000 naira for Ontario, add the West, add the IELTS, add the school fees, collection of certificates, add the medicals from IOM, add the police report, 40,000 naira per person. The police report is not just for the family, it's per person. Sorry, 30,000 naira per person. Add the passport photograph we took, the transport, everything. And you can even add transport, go to go. So that's about 4.649 million expenses alone. Then the money, when you're submitting all these documents, there's an amount that's supposed to be in your account for a period of 6 months. Now, it can come, if it comes in a lump sum, you need to explain how that money entered into your account. So some people get gift deeds from their parents, but it has to be a family member, from their brother, from their sister, from their parents. The way it works for some people is, even if it's a stranger that is giving you the money, let the person pay it to your mother's account, or let the person pay it to your father's account, and let your father or mother pay it into your account. So when they see the same surname, they'll know, okay, maybe this person's mother is gifting her this money to go and start a new life thereabouts. So you get a notarized gift deed, and or you print your statement. But that money must, if it's your own statement, it has to be in your account for 6 months. So I will explain the breakdown per person. Now, this was updated sometime last year. For family of one, sorry, for a single person, you need to have $13,310. Okay, let me, before I even break it down, let me even tell you that this one is even good because it's not black market. The conversion is bank rate conversion. So you're on the safe side when it comes to this one. The site you can use to check bank rates is xe.com. So if you go to xe.com, you put the account, the amount in in Canadian dollars, and it will give you amount in naira. So for one person, you just need to have 13,301 thousand 310,000 in your account. That's about 4.5 million. So you need to have that money for a period of 6 months. You can do small activities in it. Maybe remove this. If it's your salary account, it even makes it all better. If it's not your salary account, it's a savings account, you can just do some small activities in it to show that the account is active for a period of 6 months. This same account, this same breakdown is what Ontario uses as well. So, but Ontario statement is 3 month statement. Well, Canada government is requests you to get 6 months statement. So, family of two is 16,570. This is I'm speaking about the current prices, right? So family of two, 6,570. That's about 5.6 million. So if you're a family of two, maybe yourself and your spouse, or if you're a single mother, maybe you and your child, need 5.6 million to be in your account for that period. Family of three, which is the category I belong to, is about 20,371 Canadian dollars. That is 6.9 million. Let's just say 7 million naira that should be in your account for that period. Family of four is 24,733 Canadian dollars. That's about that's about 8.4 million naira that should be in your account. Lastly, for family of five, you need 28,000 52 Canadian dollars should be in your account. That's about 9.5 million. So the POF for us was like 7 million, and the expenses minus other miscellaneous expenses were like everything just amounted to like 11 million, to be honest. um it's a process where I'm not scaring anybody, but you just have to understand what you're starting with so that you don't end up not completing it or you don't end up being surprised. So it's good to know. I did my research firsthand, so I knew all of this. Even when Ontario came, we were not expecting to come to Ontario. We were not expecting to pay that 800 and some thousand naira we paid as at then. But after doing my research, I just knew that okay, something doable. If you have people that can help you in this process, reach out to them, because people also helped us in this process. It's not by hand. So let's say all in all, we had like um, everything should be like 11 million that would have used to complete this process. You know, 4 point something million in expenses, while 6 point something million, 6.9 million, let's say 7 million would be the POF in our account. So based on all these explanations, I just hope I've been able to guide you through the financial implication of using an express entry route to come to Canada. I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it if you found it useful and informative, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.